Good day, guys, and welcome back to Jay's and JJ's Kitchen. So today, we're going to do our version of our smoked, or as I call them, my dry ribs. That being said, we're going to come back and show you our ingredients and get started. Okay, so for our ribs that we're going to do, the smoked ribs, I guess a lot of people refer to them as barbecue ribs or whatever. I call them dry ribs. If you check my website, you'll see a recipe that I have out there, old school ribs or old school barbecue ribs. That's the one I prefer. It's not the dry one, it's the wet one, basically, where you parboil them in my little secret mix and you put them on a charcoal grill, right? That's my favorite. But this one that I'm doing today is the one that you kind of see, I would say, I guess, in the competition and if you go to a restaurant or I don't say a fast food, a barbecue place or whatever, how the ribs are cooked there, right? That being said, let me get my ingredients out of the way before I start talking too much. So here you see we've got our ribs here. I've got 3 slabs. This is a rub that I use basically both on ribs and my briskets. We've got some more rubs here, basically, and mustard. So now with your rubs, I would say use the one that you prefer. Everybody's taste is different. I generally use a combination plus my little homemade mix that I use. And what we're going to do is pull the silver skin off of our ribs. We're going to trim them because cooking ribs basically doesn't matter if it's wet or the dry ones. You want them to cook evenly because if you don't trim them, the smaller parts will tend to overcook in the cooking process. So what we're going to do is, or if you know spare ribs, we're going to trim that section off, that flap off, right? And we're going to kind of cut it down that bone there to make it even the whole length of it. That way, when the ribs are smoking, they will cook evenly. The meat that I do trim off of it doesn't go to waste, believe me. One, you can eat it. Two, like me, I take that and I smoke it, right? With the rest of my ribs, however, like I said, I pull that off whenever it's done and I will cube it, chop it up kind of small, and add it to my barbecue baked beans. So I'm going to do that, my barbecue baked beans recipe also, so you'll see how I do that. I add the trimmings off of the ribs, I would say. Plus, I do add a lot of hot dogs in mine, so it is kid or children friendly barbecue baked beans. My recipe. We'll get to that on another day. But that being said, that's our ingredients. So that being said, so we're gonna come back. I'm gonna pull the silver skin off, get these trimmed up, and we'll come back and show you what they look like. Get our rub on there, basically wrap them, let them set overnight, and we'll get them in the smoker tomorrow. And get to that part, I will say, okay, if you guys seen any of my other videos with my brisket or the pork butt, how I smoke, I use a combination of woods. I use apple juice in my pan and throw some cut up vegetables in there just to give it that little extra flavor. So yeah, I'll be doing the same thing when I do my ribs also. So that right there out of the way, we're going to come back. We're going to get these ribs open, clean, wash them, remove the silver skin, get them trimmed up, come back and season them, and you'll see that process. So, all right, guys, so we got our ribs, got our silver skin removed, and we've got these trimmed. You can see they're pretty much kind of equal in size and in the thickness all the way across. We cut that meat off there, that excess, I won't say excess, but the way it's made, that rib off. And we want to try to keep them, like I said, as equal as possible for the smoking or cooking process. I did this too so you can see how I kind of cut down that bone, the big side of a spare rib. And also, I took off the end, that remaining end that really doesn't have any bones in it, right? And basically, I went through and did that on all three. So this, you can see this. Let me see. Yeah, right there. This is our meat that we cut off of our ribs. Like I said, don't worry, it's not going to waste. We're going to season it the same way. And just take that. Like I said, it's going to be, some will go into my barbecue baked beans, and the rest of it will be eaten. But just for cooking purposes, this is how you want to do that so everything cooks evenly and it's not, you don't have sections that's overcooked or undercooked, right? So that being said, we're going to get started here and show you my little seasoning process. Like I said, this right here is no rhyme or reason behind it. You want to go with whatever rub that floats your boat, right? I use a combination to get to where I'm trying to go, to get to where I'm going, right? Said that being said, you see how I do this? You got to do this to both sides, and then we will hit it with some mustard to kind of bind it there, and let these guys sit overnight, and they will be ready for the smoker in the morning. And that's what we're going to do. Get our smoker going. How I use my, like I said, if you guys checked out any of my other videos where I was smoking, you'll see I use a combination of woods. Basically, I put apple juice and, like I said, my vegetables in my liquid tray, and we let them go for what they know. These right here, my ribs, I generally do. Uh, you've heard it or maybe not. It's the 3-2-1 method, where it's 3 hours of smoke that you give them, and 3 hours. I'm sorry, 3-2-1. 3 hours of smoking, 2 hours where you wrap them, and if you are adding a barbecue sauce to it, that last hour is what you're doing with it. You uncover it, put your barbecue sauce on there, and let that kind of get tacky on your ribs and stick to your ribs, right? But these, like I said, I'm going to do these basically like you would see in a competition type rib, to where it's no sauce, and basically you'll have your sauce on the side, right? So I'm gonna get this rubbed here, and we're gonna get our last one plus our end pieces over there seasoned, and just rub the mustard on it, the binder on it, right? And like I said, we're gonna let these sit overnight in the fridge, and we will be good to go. We'll come back tomorrow uh, when we get ready to get these out of the fridge and throw them in the smoker. We'll be right back with that. Okay, so I thought I would come back, show you guys what I have and what you're kind of looking for once you finish your seasonings, and if you choose to do the mustard binding. And so basically, this is what you have. Like I said, this is my pieces that I trimmed off of my ribs on top here, my ribs on the bottom. But that's it, guys. It's not hard at all. Pretty simple, straightforward. I would say this is probably the hardest part, because once you get your smoker, get it in your smoker, that's the lazy man's cooking there. You just kind of sit back and wait. Uh, Also, I didn't mention with my smoker, uh, besides the variety of woods that I use, um, And my apple juice, as far as in my tray and stuff, I do use the spritz from time to time, like every hour with ribs or whatever. I'll spray it down with an apple juice mixture, and that's it, guys. So we're gonna get these in the fridge, and we'll be back tomorrow whenever we put these in the smoker. You guys have a good one. So okay, guys, so we're back to get our ribs into our smoker. Just to do a quick recap, we took our ribs, we cleaned them, and we removed the silver skin and we trimmed them. And from there, we put our rub on it and put our binder, which is mustard. And so now we're getting ready we had them let them sit in the fridge overnight. So now we're getting ready to pan them up here and take them out there to the smoker. We're gonna pull them out and put them on the pan and show you what they look like before it goes into the smoker. Okay, just so you guys can see this before it goes into the smoker, this is what they're gonna look like once you've did your seasonings and binder, if you do that, and let them set overnight. You pull them out about an hour or so to let them kind of come closer to room temperature prior to putting them into the smoker. So these guys have been sitting out now for a while, so we're getting ready to get those in the smoker and get these cooking. We'll be back later. Okay, guys, so we finished up with our smoked ribs. Actually, they got a little bit too tender, as you can tell. They're definitely falling off the bones. They are not dry by any means, but it's got the flavor, and that is our rendition of our smoked ribs without any sauce, basically. So you would take these and basically dip them in sauce, and that's what we have, people. Hey, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Give it a shot. Let me know what you think about it. Have a good one.